Hi, I'm Jason Huval, broker with Stone Oak Property Management, and I'm here with our Director of Business Development, Mike Oellrich.
How we doing today?
So today we're going to chat about the property management agreement that we have. There's some frequently asked questions on this agreement. It is a little lengthy, but we're just going to cover the basics. We're not going to go through the agreement in its entirety because a lot of it's pretty straightforward. But I want to get to some of the hang-up points, that a lot of people have. And so I guess, well, we'll dive right in here, Mike. So this straightforward stuff here, the term.
Yeah, I think section 3, the term is the first frequently asked questions. So Stone Oak is and operates under a month-to-month agreement. I use the Netflix example. It's kind of like a Netflix subscription. Cancel anytime, give 30 days notice. So we'll always put the commencement date as, January 1st, 2023, ending February 1st, 2023. Give you 30 days and it auto renews. So simple.
Well, it's not always on January though. You're saying like it'll be whatever the date is they sign up.
Correct.
30 days later.
30 days later.
Yep, I got you.
Yep, that's it.
But yes, that's right. So we have month-to-month contracts with you guys. We like to continually to earn your business. You can cancel at any time with a 30 days notice. The only difference, and we're going to get down to that a little bit there, is whenever you first sign up, we're looking to at least have a shot at leasing your house. So we do have a time frame on that, and we'll get to that section there. That's the only real exception, I think, to that 30-day deal there.
That is correct.
So I'm going to scroll here a little bit more, Mike.
So right here, D, fees upon termination. I'm going to actually let you take that one. That one gets people hung up sometimes.
So is it in section 12 is where it talks about these specifically? So let's scroll down here, make everybody dizzy.
Yeah, that's right.
To go too fast.
That's the fun part.
Let's get to fees upon termination. And so this is basically if the property is leased to a tenant, the tenant on the date this agreement ends and the owner terminates this agreement, an amount equal to the lesser of, this is the management fees that would accrue, or $150. So it's $150 is typically what we charge for that.
Yep.
For that fee for termination. Now that's just usually like a rush fee. I think that's the only time we charge a termination fee is like if somebody's wants to get out inside of 30 days.
I believe so.
We don't see it a whole lot.
Yeah, it's not something we use often. Most of the time when people sign up with us, they want to give us a real go and a real try. So it's not often used, but it is in there.
Yeah. And so that's what, I consider people like, well, that would be the question I imagine then is why am I paying termination fees if it's a month-to-month agreement? And that's if somebody really has to get out of the agreement, I guess, in a hurry. But oftentimes what I think the most common when people want to sell their house, they're not sure or whatever, usually when somebody wants to sell, they know far in advance.
That's right.
To get out. It's not something you wake up and say, I'm going to sell my house today. Well,
not normally.
I would say, I have a buddy of mine who makes pretty rash decisions. So.
They'll have that first in their lives.
Authority of broker here. This basically states what we can and can't do. I don't think there was issues there.
Too much
about this $300. Want to talk a little bit about this? Basically, is what we won't make a repair over $300 unless we call an owner. I don't know if we want to have.
That's right. That's usually our threshold is $300. We try hard not to call you. Again, you're hiring us mainly for peace of mind, for us to treat your property like it's our own and all that stuff. So we do have a $300 threshold where you kind of give us permission to handle the small things that happen during the lease.
That's right. And it's just so we don't bother with any little small things that come up. If it's $100 or, inside of there, these small things, you don't have to worry about it. They do appear on on your statement you see every month. So you will see them there. And usually if they're around even close to that $300 above, they'll give you a call.
That's right.
And we from our team.
Yeah, we have professionals on hand that, we try hard not to spend your money if we don't have to. We have maintenance supervisors and on hand that'll try and troubleshoot stuff over the phone. And, we're going to try hard not to send someone out for a light bulb or something.
And we're really sensitive to that too. I can tell you, I don't know if you know that, but that's the number one reason people leave any management company is maintenance costs. And so we're doing our best to, manage those costs for you and get, great vendors in that are affordable and insured.
That's right.
All right, well, let's keep cruising here. So we're on page 3 now. Record keeping, security deposits.
Yep.
I think it's all pretty straightforward here.
That's right. I think if we go down to H
here, inability to contact owner.
Yeah. So we have notes here. That's just an emergency contact. We get questions about that from time to time.
Well, if you're traveling and, maybe you're out of the country or something, we can't get a hold of you, and we have to we need a decision maker, basically. Yes. And I mean, extreme circumstances, we'll do something in a pinch. We will make decisions, but we need to have somebody that we can call on your behalf. Especially when it's a big ticket item, an AC, a roof, if it involves insurance, we need to know somebody can make decisions on your behalf. Right. That's the reason for that. And we won't call them unless we can't get a hold of the landlord.
That's right.
Here, I think maybe we talk about the reserves a bit.
The reserves. Yep. That's
number 6.
Yeah. That's a thing. People ask about what that is and what it is. It's just a $500 reserve that we keep for maintenance-related items.
It's your money, though. As a landlord, it's actually your cash. It's held in our trust account.
That's right. Not a month-to-month. It's not a monthly charge. It's $500 in a savings account, essentially, that we hold on to for maintenance-related items. So,
and this also, right as soon as you get signed up with us, we want you to fund that. So that's for if we got to pay locksmiths or anything that we have to do right at the beginning of bringing your account on board with us. So we have the cash to do it. We don't have to call you for every little thing we need right up front. Once the property's leased, we replenish that. We keep that $500, even if we spent some money in a given month with the rents. They'll replenish that reserves at $500, just to make sure, again, they don't have to call you for small items, for little things. Funding your account is really easy if you have like an AC or something that's broken.
That's right.
But this is for the smaller things.
Yep. Very good.
Let's see here. What else we want to talk about? These are all pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Owner's cooperation, insurance.
Yeah,
a lot of times people ask about insurance and what's the right amount of coverage. I don't think $500,000 is enough for liability, frankly. I have for all of our rentals, I guess, and I also have an umbrella policy. But for all of my rentals, I think $1 million is actually better coverage. Mm-hmm. What this is for your a tenant falls, on the back porch, and maybe they slip and fall on, it's got some algae or something on the back porch. They're going to sue you, and they're also going to sue me. So you have to name us as additionally insured, so that we basically we're working together. We're not against each other on the deal. So that you'll always this agreement has us work together on these type of deals. But it's like I said, there's not enough coverage. The $500,000 to me is a low amount. Yeah. But that's what it's for. It's just for liability. You as a landlord need to protect yourself. And I can tell you as an owner of, a handful of properties, insurance is one of those things I love to have whenever I need it. And it does happen, man.
That's right.
We've been fortunate. We've only had a handful of lawsuits within Stone Oak, but we have had the coverage for all of them, which has been great.
Yep.
So let's talk about fees a bit. I want to talk about, so management fees are pretty straightforward. We charge it's just a percentage of 7%. The leasing fee here, do you have any?
I mean, if you're getting or watching this, you've probably talked to me already on the phone, and we've gone over some of this stuff. I would say the biggest question that we get on this contract is Section D here about the 10% of total cost of each repair. What I say is, every property management company has this in one way or another. It is a maintenance coordination fee. It helps to cover making sure the job's done right, getting receipts, coordinating with the vendors, with the tenants, all that kind of good stuff to make sure that it's.
Well, that's the biggest. Why is that? That's not included in management fees. That's the common question I always got why is that not included in management fees? Mm-hmm. Think of it like as a GC fee, like a general contractor fee. Now we thought about, I can tell you just from me and my partner, we actually ran a poll with all of the current owners that we had, asking if we were to raise the rates. We brought it to 8% management fee and dropped the maintenance fee. Would that be a better outcome? And the owners didn't. It was a resounding no. Leave them at 7% because that's fixed. Maintenance is a maybe, right?
Right.
And so that's really what the fee is. The fee there for us helps kind of offset some of those costs as well.
And we do get discounted rates from our vendors to help kind of offset that versus, you as calling a plumber as a one-off. So having that relationship with Stone Oak also helps with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. And so let's talk about other fees here. Is there anything else you want to invent? Just talk about a sale.
Yes.
Because that does happen.
Yes, it does.
If you decide to sell your property, some owners maybe already have it in mind. I'm going to sell this house in a year, 2 years, 3 years. My kid gets out of school, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, your situation. Typically, so we have this built in at 6%. So this is a built-in listing agreement. But keep in mind, it's a month-to-month agreement. So typically, like I said, when somebody doesn't roll over out of bed and say, I'm selling my house today, usually there's a process to it.
Right.
And so if you didn't want to use us you have your, another realtor in mind, maybe it's your cousin or your best friend or somebody who sold you the house in the first place, you absolutely can terminate our management and use that person. But also you have the option of keeping us on board to continue to manage the home while you sell with with another agent. We do offer that also. But if you do choose us, the 6%, it's not in stone. I can tell you, like most of the time we negotiate that. I mean, we've made money off of you renting your house out and managing your home. So usually we, oftentimes we'll discount that rate. And what that looks like, I'd say, and typically is around 5%. Yep. I'd say is probably on average. Yes. But this doesn't mean you have to sell with us. That's the big takeaway here. That's you don't have to sell your home with us if you don't want.
That's the beauty of the month-to-month contract.
That's right.
Yep.
So I want to touch on that too, the sale coordination fee. And that's what that is. Basically, if you sold with another agent, we would charge you this $1,000. So you basically have 3 options when you're selling your house. Either A, you sell with us and you wouldn't pay this $1,000. You would pay whatever the percentage that we agreed on.
Yep.
B, you take the house off. So we quit managing the home. And that'd be like probably for a vacant home. But if you wanted to do away with management completely, we're out. It's a month-to-month contract. You'd sell your home. You go on about your business. Or you sold with a third party. You had another agent, your best friend's an agent, whatever the case may be. We would charge that $1,000 coordination fee. And that's for us. We will be setting everything up. We're going to be, working with your inspections, your appraisals. Anybody who's in and out of that house will be picking up the phone. Right. And that's what that fee is for.
That makes sense.
Where else we're at here? Early termination. We should touch on that too.
We definitely should. So this is, owners who request termination prior to, I believe it's 90 days. Mm-hmm. We do have a $500 fee for that. I don't know if you want to just explain.
Well, no, I mean, basically it's our most expensive time is right when we sign up a lease. We don't have any setup fees or sign up fees. That's kind of by design, right? To make it easier. There's a lot of paperwork that goes involved for you as an owner, as a landlord, but also on our end to get your property. I mean, basically we have to know everything you know about your property. So we go through that onboarding process. We take photos. We do everything to get this property on the market. And then for whatever reason, if you get cold feet, maybe you've got a cousin that wants to move in the house, something changes completely, and you want to pull the listing. Well, then we're out. We have spent a lot of time and resources on that. And that's what this $500 is. It's just basically to cover, and that doesn't even cover our costs for setting up the property. But that's what it's for. And so that's an early termination fee, which you'd say for the month-to-month contract, technically, right, you kind of have 90 days with us.
Yep.
If you, and that's usually for when we're trying to get the property leased. That's the most common, where somebody has somebody else that wants to move in. It's usually a friend or a family member, which is not recommended, by the way. You should still screen, even if it's your cousin, you still need to screen them, run them through some kind of screening or something. There's things that you might not know. That's how I can't tell you how many people we talk to that are have a bad tenant, but it's somebody they knew that they put in the property.
I love my sister to no end, but I would never let her live in the house. A
lot of family.
Yeah. Love you, Sam. Sorry.
And then we kind of covered this fees on termination earlier, but just in case, if you're just coming in for a certain section of this lease, there's $150. It's the lesser of the fees that are due us, or $150 for a termination fee. And this more or less, this is a rarely charged fee here, but this is more or less like if you're trying to rush a termination. Typically, like if you end up month to month, you've got 30 days, there's no fees. We both part ways and we go about our business.
Love it.
This expense reimbursement, is there anything here that you want to touch on? Because I know people would ask about faxing and long distance.
Yeah,
this
we struck that.
Yeah,
because it's
an
just
old contract, and this is a Texas Association Realtor contract. It's one that we've borrowed from them.
Yes, promulgated form. I like the word promulgated.
Promulgated, yeah, it sounds fancy.
I sound very smart.
Funds received after termination.
Yes, we should touch on that.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. You want to touch on that? You want me to touch on that? You're right on. So basically, this is for, and I don't think this is that common either. But if any cash that comes in, and honestly, I don't even know that we have charged it. But for any fees that come in after you've terminated, if we have to handle those funds, we do charge a percentage, is 10% of those funds for the service, since we have no other means to charge fees for. If we're not collecting rents, we're not doing anything else. That's really what that is for, is to pay us for anything that happens after we're no longer working with one another. Yep. Have anything else there? Comments?
No.
Anything? Okay, good. Cooperating with other brokers, I think that's pretty straightforward. We do work, nearly all of our properties hit the MLS system unless they do pre-lease, unless they leased out beforehand. Yep. So we work with a lot of brokers frequently. Yep. Liability, this is all boilerplate.
Yep, this is all
special provisions here.
Do you want to touch on evictions real quick?
A lot of people worry about evictions, I think, but they're not as big of a, we're less than 1%. They're a pretty small number. Our screening process and even negotiating people for keys, like to get people out of properties, we've done a really good job with.
Yeah.
The COVID times were really rough. 2020 was a rough year getting people out because people didn't know. The court shut down. Nobody was getting kicked out. Yep. Even into 21, that was a rough time. But basically, for most things, we like to. I think we use, this is Richard, the attorney. We have an attorney that we do for the eviction stuff. It's a pretty straightforward process in where we're operating currently, Travis and Williamson County. But and then the costs are pretty straightforward there. We're bypassing some of those costs. Yep. They can be expensive, and then we have the assurances too. You can buy if you want a little bit of coverage there. But I can tell you, just seeing we are less than 1%. In fact, I know the one eviction we have right now is one property that I own. It's mine. Yeah. So, but I actually probably have the worst properties in our portfolio. I think I have some.
I'll let you.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, just being honest.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think I don't think we've had, maybe at the beginning of the year we had an eviction too. That was it. So they're pretty rare.
Love it.
So addenda, this is pretty straightforward. This is everything that's attached to it. I know we do have a lot in our contract, but that's just we've been doing it for over a decade now. And so we're 12 years, I think we're on.
We've seen some things.
So we try to make it all encompassing.
Yep.
I think that's really it here. Well, if you've made it this far, thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah.
Hopefully this helps answer some questions that you have. And we appreciate you considering Stone Oak as your property management company. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you, guys.